5, 16, 19, 21, 33, and 10. Check results. Can you remember?
Whoa. 34. That could easily be an impression of an Irishman or Jamaican. Um, Hi. How you doing? It's me. That's right. You can't get rid of me. I'm like a bad case of let's just say a rash. Let's just say I'm like a rash, as the normal phrase is, and not go around calling myself a walkie. No, okay. Um, Let me immediately get to this actually, because I forgot in the last. Yes, this is a pod a daily thing of this a daily. It's daily. Um, we're over a third of the way to 100 now. Now that we're into EP 34, and I meant to say a quote at the beginning of all of these, and then tell you who said the quote at the end, like reveal it, and you're meant to be guessing, and I forgot to reveal it at the end of the last one, so I will reveal it not at the beginning of this one, at the end of this one, or should I just do it at the beginning? And then, yeah, I'll just reveal it at the beginning because I don't want to risk forgetting again. I'll give you a little friendly reminder. I don't know why I'd give an unfriendly one. That'd be just out of order. It goes as this. I'm not insane. I'm voluntarily indifferent to conventional rationality. One more time for the people in the back. I'm not insane. I am voluntarily indifferent to conventional rationality. Okay? Think. Use your brains. Okay? Countdown's done. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now, again, this is just one where, to me, it's like you could get it. It is pretty obvious. Like, if I didn't know, I would maybe guess like, okay, who's a bit weird? I'd maybe guess maybe like Shia LaBeouf, maybe like Ezra Miller. That kind of realm is what I'd be thinking. I don't know if you guys are in a similar boat. The actual answer is your boy Jared. It's weird saying famous people's only their first names, like, and then you realize, wait, that's kind of like a weird, like, it's either like a really simple name that you just never really connected to that. It's Jared Leto. But like, if you like the fact Leonardo DiCaprio, he's got such a foreign name. I don't know what his background is. He must be like Italian sign. But his name's straight up Leonardo. That's wild. I don't think I've ever met anyone called Leonardo in my life. You don't get many Leonardos where I'm from. A lot of people just got boring names. Will Smith, Chris, like Will, Chris, James. I'm trying to think of like a famous person who just got like a weird one that you say and it's like, oh, Colin. I mean, let's look at the people nominated for Oscars, right? The people who are nominated for best leading performance. You've got Austin. Okay, that one's fair enough. That one's actually kind of works as like a name. I think, okay, yeah, that sounds a bit okay, interesting enough. Austin, sure. You then got Brendan. Yeah. You then got Colin. Right. Brian. And who else? Who was the fifth? Oh, Bill. It sounds like a B-Tech Beatles. Honestly, like not Austin. Bill, Brian. Oh, I keep forgetting. Oh yeah, Bill, Brian, Brendan, and Colin. Colin is such a funny name. Brendan. Who would I felt like Colin might be there is something funny about Brian. It's just a funny name, Brian. But Colin, I don't think I've never met a Colin under 85. That's for sure. But I don't think I've ever met a Colin. Full stop. Colin Farrell, and you got the other Colin Farrell, and you got Colin. What's the one called? The other Colin, not the caterpillar. Colin, the guy he's in like Kingsman, King's Speech. He likes kings apparently. Colin, it's kind of upsetting. I don't know. I said as in but it's sad because I don't. That's the issue. I don't know. But yeah, no, sorry, I'm really tangent. It was Jared Leto, and I just think such a, like, it's not, it's just such a weird thing to say. So like he's like, I'm not insane. I'm just voluntarily indifferent to conventional reality. I'm out of the box. And if you don't get that, then sorry, I don't fall into line. He's not posh English. I don't know. I'm doing that. Sorry, I don't fall into line. Sorry, I like to go out to my secret island and throw parties. Okay, sorry. Oh, do you not like me? I don't fit into the societal norms. I like to send dead rats to my co-stars. I'm not insane. I'm not insane, okay? I just don't fit in to your conventional rationality. That can't be your excuse. I don't know why I turned into Donald Trump. That can't be your excuse, when like Margot Robbie was like, oh, Jared, yeah, you sent a used condom to my trailer. Well, I didn't get it scientifically checked or studied. It looked used. What's that all about, mate? Bit weird. Oh, sorry, you think that's weird. Oh, you're looking at me like I'm crazy now. I'm not insane, okay? I'm voluntarily indifferent. Weird way to say it. And also, this is just a very defensive quote in the first place. Like, sane people wouldn't walk around being like, I'm not sane. Like, if someone, like, it's just a weird defensive. I'm not sane. All right? Sure. You know? Sure, maybe I like my 9 to 5 and I like to just sort of not commit crimes, but I'm not sane. Like, this sounds like a defense. Like you're in court, mate. I'm not insane, right? No one said anything, Jared. You've done mental things, right? People have called out those actions as being mental. Then, of your own volition, you walked out here and told, I'm not crazy. And when there's a crazy man in the street yelling he's not crazy, usually I presume he is, because most people who actually aren't crazy are just walking about and getting on with their day. But I wouldn't understand. I guess I'm just I'm just stuck in conventional reality, rationalities. So whatever that means. I'm not the biggest Jared Leto fan. He's a bit creepy. I wouldn't want to be stuck in a room with him. Not that I think he would do anything. I just cringe. But I'm just scared of cringe. And not everyone's cringe. I'm cringe. We all do cringy things. But I just feel like it'd be hard to talk to Jared. Like, my worst nightmare, my sleep paralysis is like waking up and there's like 3 chairs and I don't know who'd be in the third chair. I don't know why I went for 3. Like, I had 3 people in mind. But I have got 3 actually, and for very kind of different reasons. But it'd be like Jared Leto, Rami Malek, because he just stare me down. He's just a bit he doesn't blink. And those people, I had a teacher like that once, and I didn't have him personally, but it was in primary school, and he was always happened to be the other class's teacher, and piercing blue eyes, like a shark, very shark like, and I think it was after his wife died, which was pretty early on, because like while I was there, I feel like this is just as my sister told me, but his wife died, very sad, obviously, or left him, which is sad, I guess, still, but significantly less sad than what I'm torn up between. Either way, it was like since that day, I believe he just never blinked. I don't think basically I never saw him blink in the entire time I went to that school. And I didn't give him a lot of eye contact, because I'd give him like a bit. I was pretty sparing with it. I didn't want to ever get caught looking at him, because then it'd be like, oh no, he knows I'm onto him. But yeah, I don't remember. I can't, in my head right now, I can't see any footage up there of him blinking. He never blinked. He never blinked once. You know. But he was sane though. Never blinked. Anyway, Rami Malek, because he's probably really nice, but it's just like, I saw Limmy, the guy on YouTube, say this. It's like, just look away a couple times, man. Like, you could be saying the nicest thing. You could be like, hey man, I really like your earlobes. I don't know how Rami Malek sounds. I really like your earlobes. They're really cool. I love the ones that don't connect to the face. You got the sort of dangly ones. I'm a bigger fan of those. You know what? I like him so much. Here's $100 million. Here's $100 million. You take that. You're welcome. Don't worry about it. It's yours. Mm-hmm. Yep, I'm still and it's like, even when doing that impression, I noticed just by chance I was looking away every now and then because you can't help it. It's natural. I did it wrong and badly. I shouldn't have looked away once. And it'd be like, I feel uncomfortable. It's like, I don't want to accept this kind of awkward. This is like a really big lump sum of money, Rami. And also, like, you won't take your eyes off me. So I feel like you're watching every, like, muscle movement in my face right now. Like, I'm trying to, like, and it's very awkward receiving gifts. Oh, he'd be the worst person to buy you gifts because it's just like, sometimes you want someone to give you a gift and then just sort of, keep carrying on with the chat they're having already. But it's like all chat stops and everyone sort of like not even just turns their head, turns like the whole upper half of the body to like look at you, and it's like, whoa, I just became the center. I like too much attention. Like, keep doing what you're doing. I'll just open it here. While you're talking, you'll hear me be like, oh wow, thanks. You turn around, oh, what is that? Cool. Don't like look at me. It's like, it's too much pressure. I'm like acting fully. I'm like, what? Yeah. It's like, I feel like I'm on edge. I feel like I could, it's almost like I feel like someone's like hooked a lie detector up to me when I open presents, and it's like they're just watching the little going up. That's a similar feeling. It's like, do you like it? And whether I like it or even, and most time, guess what? I probably did like it, but it's just like, yes, are they believing that? You know what I mean? So it's just, anyway, yeah, my three horsemen of the apocalypse. It's meant to be four, right? I can't think of a fourth right now. But yeah, Jared Leto, because he's got that weird cult island, and he's like a method actor, and they're kind of scary. Although I like Christian Bale, but I don't know, he's not as bad. Jared Leto, Rami Malek, he's just a bit scary, but he seems probably like a nice guy. And Denzel Washington, because I just think he'd eat me alive, man. Like, if I was ever like, say I was like, it was my first ever job and I was acting or something. There's just certain people that would eat me up, like veterans of the game, and I don't mean because they're good, but just because they're like the type of people who are. There's certain old people who are part of it. Like, I can only imagine, like Brendan Fraser. He's not been doing it at a top level though for a long. He's been out of the game for a while. Who's like, I'm trying to think of like an old actor who just like probably just be like adorable, just like so welcoming and just sort of like takes you under their wing, just really nice, like Anthony Hopkins maybe. I don't, he'd be a bit boring. No offense, Anthony, you are bloody lovely, but you're boring me a little bit here, mate. But my point is, I just feel like I would feel so nervous, like, and not because like he's a hero of mine, but Denzel Washington, it'd be like, I feel like I'd be like, oh, hi, nice. It'd feel like I was meeting like a girlfriend's dad, even though he's not. He's just a guy. That's the kind of stress I'd be on. They'd be like, oh, hi, nice to meet you, Denzel. And he'd look at me with like, it's Denzel. And then and not smiling, not saying it with a smile or like joking it off and like whatever, or like, I can't tell if he's joking with me. Looks at me dead straight. It's Denzel. And I'm like, didn't I say that? You said Denzel. It's Denzel. Denzel Washington. Oh, oh right, sorry. Yeah, Denzel. And then like his assistant's like, oh, don't worry, Denzel's just joking with you. He's just joking. That's just what he's like. It's just, and then even as she's breaking the fourth wall with me here now, telling me he's just joking with me, he's still looking at me like, then like, see you out there on set. Oh, fucking, like, this guy. You know what I mean? I fucking hate that with a passion so much. When you meet, like, an older person and they say a joke, or, like, they say something to you that's just, like, kind of rude, or just, like, makes you uncomfortable, just, like, just not funny, though, but it's just, like, they'll say something like, so I'll walk in the room, meet this old person, they'll be like, or I'm at work. I felt this has happened before, like old people, or you just meet someone new for the first time. Slightly spill a drink or something. Like maybe I'm pouring a drink, I slightly spill a bit. Oh, fucking hell, beanpole. Them noodlons can't hold the cup, right? Stares me down, looking at me. I'm in shock. Uh, right, yeah, no, yeah, sorry, I'll clean that right now. And then it's always, they do that, and then someone who knows them next to them is like laughing, like, ah, ha, ha, don't mind him, that's just what he's like. What do you mean that's just what he's like? What? A prick? Which is that his humour? And it'd be fair enough if they said that's just what he's like, and then he breaks character and he's like, ha, 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 I'm just joking. But it's never that. It's the person on the right, whoever they're with, that's just what he's like. Just what he's like, as if he's about to break and be like, yeah, that's just what I'm like. I'm so funny. But they don't. They just stay looking miserable and sad. So it's like, what are you saying? What is he just like? Is this fun? Is it... Oh, God. I'm just awkward in social situations. Maybe it's my fault, mate. Maybe it's my fault. God. I've literally just been rambling, literally. Sometimes it's like the smallest little spark can just send you raveling for ages. And all it took was one singular quote from Jared Leto saying, I'm not insane. I'm voluntarily indifferent to conventional rationality. Which, by the way, wordy. Too much words in there. That doesn't sound like something that's just flown out of your head and it's just a free-flowing thought someone's asked you in an interview and that just came out. That's pre-written. No one's saying the words voluntarily, indifferent, conventional, and rationality. It sounds like Eminem rhyme scheme right now. This is like a pre-written thought, which you're now displaying to the real world. You've tested it in the mirror a couple of times and then tried it out in a practical setting. Anyway, I've been able just to run off that coal has got me burning, has had me chugging on for a good minute. I'm impressed with that. What are we on? 16:53. 3. Have I watched any films recently? No, I want to see Babylon soon. I want to see The Fablemans. We did this last one. I talked about the films I was want to see this year, and I still haven't actually looked up what is actually coming out. Even though I said I did, and I've had 24 hours to do that, but I haven't. I was trying to do other-ish. But that's fine. That's fine. I'm in a better mood today. Some things, some wheels went into motion, let's say. You know, don't stop me now, because I'm having a good time. I don't want to stop at all. That's a big can of worms, actually. I don't want to get into that. I was about to bring up a topic, but I was like, that's a big can of worms. You don't really want to be opening a can of worms. What a phrase, can of worms. Is that like okay, here's something. I was about to be like, that phrase, can of worms, what's that even about? Do you reckon back in the day, it was just like a can of worms, people had cans of worms, and you open it, a fish and chip, and then it's like, oh, don't open a can of worms, it gets everywhere, blah, 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 can of worms. Do people hate that kind of chat? Because sometimes I'm like, oh, God, here we go. Like, you hear two people talking, they'll be trying to make a point, and then they'll just say a random phrase, and they'll be like, where did that phrase come from? And they'll be like the next 20 minutes just talking about it, just theorising about something you could probably just Google. And then the answer that you've Googled is probably just somebody else's theory about how they got to a word, because who cares? Phrase is a phrase. As long as you all know what we're saying, it's just communication at the end of the day. That being said, I do kind of wonder the root of the phrase can of worms. But then again, I don't. It's probably just about having a can of worms. It's usually just very literal. It's like, oh, back in the day, it's like, what's like a phrase? I don't know, I can only think of very literal, obvious ones now, like when it rains, it pours, or leading a horse to water, but you can't make a drink. These are all very obvious. Like, or like a duck to water. I'm not thinking of any like weird ones. Red raw. I can't think of anything that you'd even question. What does that mean? A shoe-in. Like, oh, he was a shoe-in for the job. Heard that, like that. It's like, oh, what does that mean? Then I just guess. A shoe-in, something to do with shoes. Like back in the day, like the shoemaker, like whoever polished them best, you'd be the guy who gets the. It's just probably some dumb shit like that. And then it's like you find out the answer, and it's never fulfilling. It's just like, oh, some people back in the day used to do something, and then we just made a phrase out of it. certain je ne sais quoi, you know. This does not translate in in my country. We have a certain phrase. It is for like a certain something special, you know. So like for a certain intangible thing, something special, you know. You say it's a certain je ne sais quoi, but it does not quite translate. I don't think. Yeah, I think that's a good place to start. Is literally what I'm thinking in my head right now is what do I even title this? It'll probably be something stupid like Rami Malek's under my bed or something, or like Jared Leto's my sleep paralysis demon, something like that. Something like that. I don't know. This was, I suppose, 34 on to 35.
With the kids, and I've got 3 kids, and the geezer was probably on like maximum 20 bags a year. Like the most boring bloke you'll ever meet. Like,